Do I still believe that Cardano's native token called ADA could hypothetically reach the price of $10 during this bull run? Yes, even though that's not financial advice, my reasoning is because I think that Cardano is actually one of the best layer one blockchains of all time. Now, I seriously mean this, by the way. I'm not just saying this because, I think it's cool, because I have the reasoning, in my opinion, to hypothetically back this up. Now, we take a look at, for instance, when we say layer one blockchains, what do people often say, or should I say, comes to their mind, right? They think about Ethereum. Now, this is what I've noticed. But really, if you take a look at Ethereum, if we take a look at it deeper, gas fees, it's a complete problem, in my opinion. It's totally unacceptable, especially in 2025. I mean, even a number of years ago, I think it's actually still very bad, but still, that's very unacceptable. Now, not to mention, we take a look at Ethereum, arguably not even scalable. Now, people like to say, oh, take a look at when Ethereum became Ethereum 2.0. Take a look at that, right? When Ethereum, became proof of stake. But really, if you take a look at it, it's still not that dynamic. And I still think it can't even really compete with many of the layer one blockchains as of right now. But then because Ethereum is so ingrained, right? Because it's like one of the OGs, people consider it, it still has a lot of fans, a lot of developers still want to gravitate to it. But really, moving forward, why wouldn't developers choose Cardano? Just think about this, right? Cardano, gas fees are way lower, very scalable. So it's just a no-brainer in my opinion. And it's not like Cardano has bad exposure or anything like that. I mean, it's very popular, sure. It's not as popular as like a Solana or like an Ethereum or like, a BNB, for instance, but still it's up there. And not to mention, if you take a look at people who often say that, oh yeah, Ethereum, it can rely on these Ethereum layer 2s to, fix the scalability problems, the gas fee problem. I totally understand that, but I just think it's a little bit messy to use that. And I'm not talking about Messi, the soccer player, by the way. Now, here's the thing. If we take a look at, these layer 2s, the retail market, they don't really care. Like, they don't mind doing that type of stuff. But I think enterprises, they're going to care because I don't think they want to overcomplicate their quote-unquote workflow or anything like that. I don't think they want to overcomplicate the way they do business, because if they want to adopt Ethereum, but then they have to rely on these Ethereum layer 2s, it's just kind of overly complicated. You know what I mean? So the way you take a look at it is that Cardano is just much better than Ethereum. And now people may argue that, oh, take a look at the fans and hype for Ethereum. Again, I'm not arguing that. I'm just arguing, fundamentally speaking, I think Cardano is just a lot more fantastic. Now, we take a look at another layer one blockchain that people really like. We take a look at Solana, right? Solana, granted, it's lightning fast, very low in gas fees. Many people love it, and so do I. But historically, its reliability hasn't been the same as Cardano. Why do I say that, right? Because take a look at Solana. At one point, it did experience 8 different network outages in just a time span of a year. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous to think about. I mean, at one point, that was allegedly nearly once a month, basically. So, again, for a year. Yeah, I don't think that's acceptable. Now, it got fixed though, allegedly, right? So I can't really say that Solana's like that right now. Only time will tell, who knows? But Cardano historically has been very reliable. And I think enterprises, they care about this because they care about the track record usually. Not to mention, we take a look at BNB. Now, I get it, BNB is massive, but take a look at the BNB smart chain ecosystem. Back in 2023, according to Crypto.com research, slightly over 2% of the crypto hacks that happened actually occurred on there. Now, that may not seem like much, but when you consider how massive the crypto space is overall, that's actually very bad. I mean, that's not good, in my opinion. That's a little bit too much, actually. So the way I take a look at it is that actually when it comes to Cardano, this is a real deal layer one blockchain. Now, again, it's not really that impressive, people may consider, but I think it's not bad because, for instance, right, when it comes to Cardano, there's over 2,000 projects building and thriving, so that's really good in my opinion. Not to mention, you take a look at how when it comes to Cardano, what I do like about it is that we're beginning to see a little bit of AI projects emerge on its ecosystem. Now, I'm not saying that Cardano is this dominating force for AI projects. I'm not saying that, but then still, this is good news nonetheless, because why wouldn't these AI developers choose Cardano? Again, right? Low gas fees, very scalable, it's lightning fast. It's a no-brainer. And you got to think about why AI could be amazing. It's because the AI market, according to Grandview Research, is predicted to reach nearly $2 trillion by 2030. I mean, this is very impressive. Take a look at the GDP of Canada. That was around $2 trillion back in 2023. So this is a very special figure. When I take a look at Cardano, man, it's very impressive as a layer one blockchain. And why is its native token called ADA going to the price of $10 not that crazy? Because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would be around $350 billion. Now, this may seem kind of crazy. Now, keep in mind that this is around a 12x from here, so it's not like a 100x or anything like that, but I'm just saying, why isn't this market cap too crazy? We've seen Ethereum, which in my opinion, fundamentally speaking, is nowhere near as good as, again, Cardano. Back in 2021, that reached a market cap of around $550 billion. So that's around $200 billion more than this. I don't see why this is too much to ask for. Now, people may be thinking, okay, yeah, but 2021 is more special than right now. 2021 was amazing. Well, could the peak of this bull run actually be better than that? I think so, maybe, because take a look at how during the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners, which at that time was very impressive, but now we have over 600 million. So just let that sink in. Now, this is according to Crypto.com research, but I'm just saying this is a very impressive figure. Practically double the amount of crypto owners. As of right now, people know more about layer 1 blockchains, they know more about projects, and also, when it comes to Cardano, its fan base is just continuously, becoming better and better, and also the amount of projects in Cardano, I would say that the quality of it arguably got better, right, since back then. So I think that when it comes to ADA, it did well in 2021, but I think this time around, it could hypothetically do very fantastic, and that's why I'm staying patient. And how long, right? Take a look at, for instance, Charles Hoskinson, who not only is the co-founder of Ethereum, but he's also the founder of Cardano. Now, you may be thinking, okay, didn't you just say this and that about Ethereum? Now you're referencing Charles Hoskinson, who again is the founder of Cardano and the co-founder of Ethereum. Now here's the thing, people often allege that he got fired from Ethereum or whatever the case may be, but I think if anything, it may be a blessing in disguise because you take a look at, for instance, he founded Cardano, again, a much better layer 1 blockchain. So if anything, I think that's actually very good. But even besides that, according to Charles, a very reputable individual, on a video that he was a part of back in November of last year in 2024, he said that either 1 to 2 years from then, he could very well see Bitcoin reaching anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. So just imagine that. That's anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. If we assume his best case scenario timeline, so year, that would mean November this year, right? Based on his video that he was a part of. And we assume his worst case scenario price prediction for Bitcoin, let's say in this scenario, in this make-believe scenario, Bitcoin were to reach $250,000 in November this year. Could you imagine what would happen to ADA? I mean, $10 may not seem that crazy anymore at that point, in my opinion. Now, not to mention, you take a look at why could 2025 be a special year? Harping on this Charles, prediction, so to speak, right? We do know that historically speaking, altcoins, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, when did the last Bitcoin halving event happen? It happened back in April of last year. So that hasn't even been 12 months yet. Let that sink in, right? So again, historically, 18 months from then is usually when altcoins peak, again, as a worst case scenario. That would actually mean around October this year. So I think if anything, again, it showcases that somewhat near the end of 2025, this could be very special. Did Charles Hoskinson take a look at this data? Maybe, who knows? But again, I think 2025 could be a very special year, which is why I'm still staying very patient. Anytime an income I'm acquiring, I'm holding and I'm just waiting, because when a bull run could be this special, Cardano's native token called ADA, it has to be one of my foundational pieces in my portfolio. I'd much rather acquire this over Ethereum, for instance, over Bitcoin. ADA is the pick for me. And at the price of $10 during this bull run, that wouldn't shock me whatsoever. I think Cardano is arguably one of the best day 1 blockchains of all time. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm on peace. Bye.